Have you been carrying fear so long that it feels normal now? Fear about your future, fear about money, fear about losing someone you love, fear that maybe things will never get better. But today, God is speaking directly to you, not by accident, not randomly. You clicked on this message because heaven wanted your attention. And God says, "My child, leave your fear in my hands." You have spent too many nights fighting silent battles nobody knows about. You smile in front of people, but deep inside, your mind keeps racing. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if things fall apart? What if I'm not strong enough? And slowly, fear became the voice you listened to more than mine. But God says, "I did not create you to live trapped in fear." Listen carefully. Fear has been stealing your peace. It has been stealing your sleep. It has been stealing your confidence. And worst of all, it has been stealing your trust in God. Because fear always whispers the same lie. You are alone. But God is saying today, you are not alone. I have been with you the entire time. Even during the nights you cried quietly. Even during the moments you almost gave up. Even during the seasons where nothing made sense. God never left. There are people listening right now who feel exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. You are tired of overthinking, tired of worrying, tired of expecting the worst, tired of carrying pressure nobody understands. And God says, you were never meant to carry all of this by yourself. Some of you are trying to control everything because fear convinced you that if you don't hold everything together, life will collapse. But hear this carefully. Control is not peace. Trust is peace. And God is asking you today, will you trust me with what scares you? That fear about your future, give it to God. That fear about your health, give it to God. That fear about your family, give it to God. That fear about being abandoned, give it to God. Because God already knows the ending of the story. And the ending is not destruction. The ending is not hopelessness. The ending is not defeat. God says, I am already preparing a way you cannot see yet. Sometimes fear grows because we keep staring at the storm instead of the Savior. Think about this. When Peter walked on water, he only started sinking when he focused on the wind and waves. And many people listening today are doing the same thing. You are staring at the storm every day. The bills, the bad news, the uncertainty, the delay, the pain, getting louder. But God says, look at me again. Because fear loses power when faith becomes stronger. Maybe nobody knows how heavy your heart feels right now. Maybe you've been pretending to be okay for a very long time. But God sees everything. He sees the tears you hide. He sees the panic attacks. He sees the sleepless nights. He sees the moments where you felt mentally exhausted. And God says, you do not have to fight this battle alone anymore. This message is your reminder that fear is not your home. Peace is. Let that sink into your spirit. Fear is temporary. God is eternal. Fear changes every day. God never changes. Fear says, what if everything goes wrong? Faith says, what if God is already working everything out? There are blessings waiting for you on the other side of fear. But the enemy knows something very important. If you keep living afraid, you will never fully walk into the purpose God prepared for you. That's why fear attacks your mind so much, because fear wants to stop your destiny. Fear wants you to quit before the miracle happens. Fear wants you to doubt before the breakthrough arrives. Fear wants you to stay stuck in anxiety instead of walking in faith. But today, God is breaking that chain. Right now, not tomorrow, today, and God says, my child, stop rehearsing disasters that haven't happened. Think about how many things you worried about that never even happened. Fear creates imaginary suffering, but God gives real peace. You keep asking, what if I fail? But what if you succeed? What if this difficult season is actually preparing you for something greater? What if God is using this pressure to build strength inside you? Diamonds are created under pressure. And maybe this season is creating a stronger version of you, a wiser version, a braver version, a more faithful version. God says you are growing even when you cannot see it. Somebody listening right now feels afraid about the future. You don't know what's next. You don't know how things will work out. And uncertainty scares you. But hear God's voice today. The future is not frightening when I am already there. God is already standing in your tomorrow. Before you wake up tomorrow morning, God is already there. Before next month arrives, God is already there. Before your breakthrough comes, God is already preparing it. That means your future is not abandoned. It is covered by God. Fear says, you're not enough. But God says, my grace is enough for you. I will restore you. Fear says, I will restore you. Fear says, you're too broken. But God says, I still have a plan for your life. And somebody needs to hear this clearly. Your current situation is not your final chapter. God is still writing the story. Sometimes God allows storms not to destroy you, but to teach you that He is stronger than the storm. Because there are lessons you only learn in difficult seasons. You discover how strong your faith really is. You discover who truly stands beside you. You discover that God can carry you through things you thought would destroy you. And after everything you survived, you are still here. That is proof God has been protecting you all along. The enemy thought anxiety would break you, but you survived. The enemy thought heartbreak would destroy you, but you survived. The enemy thought fear would silence your purpose, but you are still here listening to this message. And that means God is not finished with you yet. Right now, I want you to stop for a moment. Take a deep breath. And imagine placing every fear you have into God's hands. The fear about money. The fear about relationships. The fear about failure. The fear about tomorrow. The fear of not being enough. Give it all to Him. Because those hands that created the universe are strong enough to carry your burdens too. God says, when you release fear, you make room for peace. And peace is coming into your life again. Not fake peace, not temporary peace. Real peace. The kind of peace that doesn't make sense to other people. The kind of peace that remains even during uncertainty. Because true peace is not found in perfect circumstances. True peace is found in trusting God. This is your sign to stop fighting battles in your own strength. You've cried enough. You've worried enough. You've carried enough. Now let God carry you. And hear this powerful truth. Fear may visit you, but it does not have permission to control your life anymore. Because God is bigger than your anxiety, bigger than your stress, bigger than your future, bigger than your problems. And today, He is asking for your trust. Not perfect faith, just willingness. Even a small step toward God changes everything. So tonight, before you sleep, leave your fear in God's hands. And when fear tries to return tomorrow, remember this message. God is already ahead of you. God is already fighting for you. God is already making a way. Even when you cannot feel it. Even when you cannot feel it. God is working. If this message spoke to your heart, remember, you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not fighting alone. And God says one last time, my child, leave your fear in my hands and rest.